Sussex's shock split. Meghan ditches Harry once again. It is abundantly clear that Meghan wants out. Meghan wants out! Now, the latest example that the couple are living separate lives came this week with the Duchess jetting off to Paris with her so-called second husband, yikes, Marcus Anderson, as an increasingly sad and deflated Prince Harry shuffled off to New York City, ironically, to talk about mental health, even though his mental health is in the toilet. Now, the Mark Dolan show was the very first show in the world to place Harry and Meghan on 24/7 divorce watch. And only someone with half a brain cell, which to be fair, could be Prince Harry, can be under any illusions that the marriage is no more. Harry was alone in Las Vegas, which, let's be honest, was brave of Meghan. Alone in the UK for the Clarence House Summit. Alone in China. Alone for his previous trip to the Big Apple. Alone in Montecito when Meghan is gallivanting around the world. And alone in Ukraine, where the foolish prince, who apparently is so worried about his personal security, risks life and limb in the world's most famous war zone. Now, the only time that they've been spotted together in public in months, because they do not appear in public together. They don't appear in public together. Why? Well, because Meghan wants out. She sees Harry as a professional and personal liability. Meghan wants out. She's done. So the only time they were spotted for months together is when they appeared at the actor Kevin Costner's annual charity fundraiser. It must have been nice for Meghan to meet Kevin Costner and come to face with what an actual actor is. Imagine for her just to spend time with someone that's an actual actor with the craft of acting, something of which she can only dream. Now, at that fundraiser here on the Mark Dolan show, we pointed out very accurately how crushingly awkward the body language between the Sussexes had become because Meghan wants out. She's done. And the truth is that neither of them are happy. Harry's not happy either, right? They don't get on. Harry and Meghan, they don't get on. They don't get along. They don't like each other. They've got nothing in common. Let me know in the comments, what do Harry and Meghan have in common? They've got nothing in common. I can assure you, as a British man myself, I know what motivated Harry when he met Meghan, and it was his loins. Harry was attracted to Meghan. He thought she was stunning. Now, we can debate whether she is stunning or not. Is Meghan beautiful? Let me know in the comments. It's not for me to say. I think she's a decent-looking lady. I think she scrubs up pretty well. But the bottom line is that Harry absolutely fell in love with her, and he fell in lust with her. He looked at Meghan Markle and he said, that is a piece of tail that I would like to chase. That is some tail, is what Harry thought. She was his type. You see, he's a kind of freckly redhead. He's very pale. And I think he was attracted to her slightly sort of Latin complexion. I think that's what happened. So he fell in love with her. He fell in lust with her. And of course, we know that she manipulated him emotionally because she's very good, as all malignant narcissists are. They're very good at finding victims, people weak enough to get sucked into their orbit. You see, because strong people aren't drawn to someone like Meghan Markle because they see straight through her. For example, Prince William could never date someone like Meghan Markle because he would immediately identify the issue with this person, which is that she's controlling and she's manipulative and she's dishonest and she's creepy and she love bombs you and then completely gaslights you and throws you under the bus. That is the abusive dynamic, I'm afraid, of the master manipulator, of the pathological narcissist. I believe that Meghan fits that category. And it doesn't work on someone like Prince William, who's got a backbone. He's got a ring of emotional steel. He's a tough guy. He's also got common sense and a brain. Harry's got no common sense and no brain whatsoever. He's a very, very foolish guy. So Meghan's, and quite clearly, but it's my view that Harry was in lust with Meghan. He fancied her. He was attracted to her, and he is a libidinous man, which he gets from his grandfather, Philip, who loved a lady. Prince Philip loved a lady. He was a man of appetites himself, old Prince Philip. And he was a good-looking guy. He was statuesque, wasn't he? He was tall, lean, brave, buccaneering. I mean, the perfect English prince of Greek heritage. But Philip was a bit of a rock star and a bit of a dude. And if we talk about Meghan being a piece of tail that Harry was going after, what would you call a man that was attractive like that? A hunk? Very, very desirable. He was a pilf, a prince you'd like to, and we won't finish the rest of that because it's a family show. We are family. So that's what happened. The issue is that Harry may have been attracted to Meghan Markle, my husband, but they've got nothing in common because Harry is not showbiz. Right? Harry's not interested in being around actors, and he doesn't want to be in a TV studio or on a film set. That fake world, that's not his thing. Harry is ex-military. He wants to drink beers with his buddies, fellow soldiers, and he likes to chase girls and has some fun. Back in the day, he smoked a lot of marijuana. He was a huge weed head. He must have spent a decade just baked, absolutely baked, which I think, by the way, has affected his mental health. I can't bear it when people moan about mental health and then you ask them about their diet and their lifestyle and they say, well, I don't take any exercise. I get up at 2 p.m. I smoke weed every day and I eat fast food. Yeah, I wonder if there's any connection there, Sherlock Holmes, with your lifestyle and your mental health. What would happen if you ate fruit, vegetables, and natural healthy protein and took exercise and got 8 hours of sleep and fresh air and a bit of sunlight? I wonder what would happen to your mental health. I don't know. I'm no doctor. What do I know, folks? What do I know? What'll I do when you are far away? So, they've got nothing in common. These two have got nothing in common. Nada. Niente. Nichts. Es gibt keine zwischen diese Leute, dass sie können zusammen machen. Sie denken sehr anders. Sie sind fremd zusammen. Sie sind beide Fremde zusammen. Sie sind echte Fremde. Auf die Treppe schnell. I put the lavender towels. They go into the refrigerator. So I put the lavender towels into the refrigerator, which no one understands why I do that. And it's actually a fire hazard. You're welcome. So they've got nothing in common. She's not interested, obviously, in the United Kingdom. It's too small a scene for her in terms of the entertainment industry. She's so bored by all the royal stuff. She hated opening hospital wings and meeting, children that give her. She doesn't want to hang out with working class people and receive gifts from them. She receives like a teddy bear from an 8-year-old. She's like, can somebody please have this dry cleaned? Because it's hazardous in a moment. It's quite toxic. This little bear that was given to me has not been correctly cleaned. It's not sanitary. A lot of these gifts from the English working class people are not sanitary, so they need to be cleaned and then dipped in lavender water and then placed in the refrigerator. They got to go in the refrigerator. So there's nothing. Tell me in the comments, what do these two have in common? They've got nothing in common except, right, Harry's libido. That's what they've got in common, is Harry's libido. Harry is attracted to Meghan, right? Probably still is. Although I've got no doubt that Meghan controls that part of their relationship now. I can guarantee you that Meghan controls the intimate part of their relationship now. And it will be carefully choreographed to work around her schedule and her ambitions. Is Harry, and this is an indelicate conversation, but we're all grown-ups here on the Mark Dolan Show. Again, let me know in the comments, because the comments are not part of the show, they are the show. Is Harry right now, where are we at? It's October 2025. 2025. Pretty good. Here's a question for you in the comments. Is Harry getting any? What do you think? Is Harry getting any? Ever wondered how those random companies that you've never heard of seem to know everything about you? Your name, your address, the fact that you need a new toaster? Well, it's not magic. It is data brokers. They buy and sell your personal information, and it ends up in places that you would never expect. That's why I'm using Incogni. Now, Incogni goes out to these data brokers on your behalf, tells them to delete your personal information, and then follows up to make sure it's actually gone. It's like having your own personal bouncer for your data, quietly throwing out the bad guys after they've had a few too many Budweisers, which is the king of beers. I tried it myself, and the number of companies holding my details was genuinely shocking. With just a few clicks, Incogni got them wiped, while I took a well-deserved afternoon nap. Here's the deal. If you go to incogni.com/Dolan and use the code Dolan, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. That's incogni.com/Dolan, code Dolan for 60% off for the whole year. And then you can buy that toaster in privacy. It's a straight question that needs a straight answer. We're all grown-ups here. Let me know in the comments. I know it's a very adult theme, and that's unusual for the Mark Dolan show. We'll never use strong language, which is why you can play these videos when the kids are around. In fact, get the kids in, they might learn something. They might learn something. What do you think of these glasses, by the way? These are like my first glasses when I was, I don't know, what age was I? Maybe in my early 20s. They're kind of these spectacles which hide the fact that you're wearing spectacles. They're very, very dirty. I can't quite see through them. So let me just give them a little wipe. A little wipe, if you don't mind. Marginally better. What do you think? Do you like these? They're all right, aren't they? I think I look like, I'm just going to say it. I think I look like a New York lawyer. Yes, hello, my name is Sheldon Rosenstein, and I'm here to represent Prince Harry in the divorce proceedings against Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex. What do you mean she gets everything? Oh, yeah, they live in California. Okay, she gets everything. Here's the thing. Let me know in the comments. Is he getting any? Is he... And I know it's a grown-up conversation. It's an adult theme, which is unusual for the show. But I think we can do this. I think we're going to come out of our comfort zone, and we're going to go there. You're watching this now, and it's like, honey, did Mark Dolan just go there? Let me tell you that Mark Dolan did just go there. I just went there. Is Harry getting any? I'm going to answer that for you right now because I like to offer my considered view, and I've lived a life, and I know a story when I see one. I was the, I think, only journalist in the world to predict that the Clarence House meeting was absolutely going to happen. And people raised an eyebrow and said, you're insane. You're sticking your neck out here. You're going to destroy your very valued reputation. Predicting that the Clarence House summit would happen. Well, here we are. Here we are. And we'll unfortunately have the same conversation when Harry and Meghan divorce. But that's at a certain point. Is Harry getting any? And I'm going to tell you that he gets a lot less than he used to, is what I'd say. I think when they were dating, it was like a blitzkrieg. There was barely a moment to spare. Poor Harry couldn't barely catch up with himself. But now, strictly rationed and based around Meghan's schedule, her mood, and her ambitions. Because everything is a transaction for little Meghan. Everything is a transaction, including the horizontal entertainment. Okay? And I think there's a lot less. And I think, I don't think... But anyway, so Harry hasn't even got that now. But of course, there was plenty when she was love-bombing him before they married, and he couldn't believe it because, well, there's this beautiful woman and she's very, very available emotionally and in every other department. And she fills that little gap in my soul, which was left by God knows what, the chip on his shoulder, the death of his mother. Who knows why Harry is so messed up? But what these controlling pathological narcissists do is they identify and find a weak person that's got a hole in them somewhere, and the pathological narcissists create the impression that they are filling that hole. That's how they get into your head and into your heart, is that they fill that hole. But it's just love bombing. It's performative. It's very temporary. And they give you everything. They give you the positive messaging. You're amazing. I love you. Meghan gave Harry everything that he hadn't had in his childhood and in his younger years. And he felt $1 million. It was like a drug. It was like a drug for him. And that's what these people do. But of course, like a drug, it's not real. It's a narcotic experience, and it's a transaction. And the minute they get married, Meghan's like, honey, I'm not really enjoying being a royal member of the family, and I'd like to go to North America now, please, and begin a new life in Montecito, California. Thanks. And that is when the spell is broken. The love bombers, they don't need to do anything once. I mean, normally, whether it's marriage, but there's always some ambition that's been fulfilled. So that's the bottom line, is that the marriage now, right, they've got nothing, zero in common. And proof of that, by the way, is the fact that Harry's friends didn't like Meghan. If you read Tom Bauer's book, Revenge, it's all about the fact that they thought Meghan was a nightmare. When Harry and Meghan were dating, when they were courting, when they were stepping out, the old mates of Harry were not happy at all and thought, who is this woman? She's a nightmare. She was very woke, very politically correct. She didn't like the hunting. I think she thought it was cruel. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Meghan, that we're going to interrupt, hundreds of years of royal tradition just to placate your woke credentials. So anyway, they didn't like her. And that is proof. If you're dating someone, you've got to introduce that person to your friends, because your friends know you really well. They've got skin in the game, and they will have the measure of your partner, and they'll give you great advice. It's true that your family members should meet your forthcoming spouse. Of course, your parents, your siblings, cousins, no problem. But your friends will give you a very dispassionate overview. And Harry's friends did not like Meghan, which was absolutely demonstrative proof that they were not suited. Because if they'd met Meghan and thought, you know what, Harry, she's perfect for you. She's funny. She likes to have a good time. She enjoys a party. She likes a drink. She can put it away, especially those beers, the Budweiser, king of beers. We know that because it says king of beers on every single bottle in the world and on every can. It's written on the can, which makes it a fact. By the way, lovely, gorgeous Dolly Parton. How much do we love Dolly Parton on this show? She is an angel. She's an incredible artist. She's been poorly lately, but she did a video and she said, honey, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. And also, it's been reported that she got kidney stones, which is no doubt very, very painful. So we love Dolly and we wish her well. We wish her a speedy recovery. And I will always love you. Right. So and you know what? She's struggling because she lost her husband a few months ago, and she said she didn't look after herself, which you wouldn't. She's been widowed. I'm devastated for Dolly. But what an artist. What a talent. What an icon. What an American. What a human being. We love Dolly Parton. Okay. So Harry and Meghan, they don't get on. They don't like each other. And poor old Harry has realized that the high price he's paid for his marriage wasn't worth it. And he's starting to discover not only that in the bedroom's not happening, but that he's served his natural purpose for Meghan now. She doesn't need him. And if Meghan doesn't need you, you are in deep, deep trouble. Not being needed by Meghan it's the end of days, right? It's over for you. If Meghan doesn't need you, run for the hills, right? You are an endangered species. Species. I Googled that, and it's actually, you're supposed to say species, but I prefer species. So I'm just going to say to the dictionary, take a hike. Go whistle. I'm going to say species, even if it's wrong. Auf die Treppe schnell! Meanwhile, Meghan Markle, Princess Tippy Toes herself, is focusing all of her energies on brand Meghan, which is a private as well as a public endeavour. Because what she's done, what Meghan's done, it's abundantly clear now. Harry, on his own again in New York, she should be there with him. Get back from Paris and hang out with Harry. Support the guy in New York City, in the Big Apple. That's what a normal partner would do, is spend time with their spouse and be there for them. As Meghan loves to say in all those interviews, show up for people. I love to show up for people and show how I can show up for people. Well, you don't show up for Harry, do you? Why? Because Meghan wants out. She's washed her hands of the Duke privately and professionally. And to be fair to her, maybe even she is sick of Harry's victimhood and gloomy demeanour. He's such a grey cloud of a human being. By the way, I need to mention a very important comment from one of our lovely, wonderful viewers called Grace. Hello, Grace. Amazing Grace, how I love you. By the way, that's a better lyric. I've literally improved the lyrics of Amazing Grace. So, Grace messaged in. I read all the comments. Love the comments. And I said that when William becomes king, I said Harry's life won't be worth living. I said his life will not. Now, Grace made a very good point, which is that poor old Harry is quite a depressive personality. He's quite a gloomy human being. And she said, God forbid that he would do anything foolish if he really, really entered a dark place. And therefore, we shouldn't say that his life won't be worth living. And Grace, you're so right about that. Now, of course, as you know, I use language in a very extravagant and theatrical way. And when I said that when William becomes king, Harry's life won't be worth living, of course, that was figurative. It was elaborate. It was dramatic. It was exaggerated. But you raise a good point. That of course his life will be worth living, because life is always worth living, and Harry's got an amazing life. And I have a plan for Harry to have an amazing rest of his life. And what he's got to do, and this is why he needs to go for a beer with me, King of Beers, Budweiser. We know that it's the King of Beers. It says it on every can and every bottle, and that makes it the case. And I will tell you, if I could meet Harry and have a couple of beers with him, right? And drop a few truth bombs in, fueled by your excellent comments. I'd have the phone out. I'd be quoting. I'd say, Alison says this. George says this. Sandra says this. Muhammad takes this view. That's what I'd be doing. And I would be a friend to him. And what I would do, unlike everyone in his life over there in that bubble of Montecito, California, Montecito, is that I would tell him the truth. And I'd say, you're a decent guy. And there's a deep well of goodwill in the UK which has dried up because of your treachery and dishonesty and cruelty and lack of empathy and all the rest of it. But I would say by the time we got onto maybe like the third Budweiser, I'd say, but there's a way back for you. And that is, you divorce Meghan Markle, you move back to the UK, you apologise to absolutely everybody, including the country and the entirety of your family. You actually sign a written decree which could go through the UK Parliament promising never to do another book, documentary series or podcast about anyone or anything. And you're going to have a great life. You'll be in touch with the kids on FaceTime, and you can visit them a couple of times a year and they'll come and visit you. That's not a problem. And, you could start making yourself useful again, because I know William could do with some support when he's king. Anyway, that is the whole world of potential that Harry's got. And it would involve two things: divorcing Meghan and the world's biggest and longest apology. But of course, we know it ain't going to happen. But the bottom line is that he's not going to do that. But so there is everything, of course, to live for. But Grace, I'm glad you pointed that out. Tonally, you're right. We have to be very careful with Harry. And I do worry about him, because I think the mood of gloom is not confected. I think Harry is genuinely sad and genuinely unhappy. I think he's genuinely angry, genuinely bitter, has a genuine... Do you ever get an itchy back where it's just your arms aren't quite long enough? There's a song by Elton John called Go It Alone, and I'll sing a solid verse and chorus of it at the end of today's show. I've got a lovely viewer in Amsterdam who said, Mark, can you warn me when you're going to sing? Because I need to go to bed and I fall asleep to your videos. So I need to know what moment in the video you're going to be loud. That's very difficult for me to say to my lovely friend. I think it was, sorry, I don't know where I got Amsterdam from. It was Holland. It was a Dutch. I think it might have been Amsterdam. It was a Dutch viewer because we are so global. And but it's very difficult to know when I will explode because I'm a very passionate person. I'm very authentic. I'm so authentic, so I can't really decide when I'm going to be angry or if I'm going to need to shout because I'm very authentic. But we'll have a blast of Go It Alone at the end of today's show, and that is a song by Elton John. It's all about Meghan because that's what she's done. She's going it alone, right? The lyrics, let me give you the lyrics. I'll go it alone, call this house my home, build it up again with someone new. Oh my goodness. Has Bernie Taupin ever been so accurate? Build it brick by brick till I find a boy that fits. This home is a whole lot better without you. Oh my God. I mean, this show isn't just thrown together. Let me tell you. So he is a very, and the other thing yesterday, by the way, Mrs. Dolan and her snoring. By the way, she doesn't have sleep apnea. I was joking. And a lot of you have said sleep apnea is actually a very serious condition. And on the Mark Dolan show, we do take it seriously. And in my own mother, who is a trained nurse, did you know that my mother is a trained nurse? She's an excellent bedside manner. She's a very caring person and has access to an awful lot of medication. Harry would love her. Oh, hello, Mrs. Dolan. Can I get some more of those powerful drugs from you? You know, just to chill myself out a little bit. Thanks. She said that she treated people with sleep apnea and they need devices and it's very serious and it's not fun. And so may God bless you if you suffer from sleep apnea. Maria, Mrs. Dolan doesn't, she doesn't have sleep apnea. But occasionally she will snore. And I do wonder whether Concord is back. But it's luckily not a serious condition. What it is with her, it's the boozing. It's the liquor. Because she can, like Meghan Markle, Mrs. Dolan puts it away. She puts it away. She puts it away. She knows where to put it, and away is where she puts it. You name it. Bacardi, Cinzano, Pinot Grigio, Birra Moretti. Anything that's not screwed down, frankly. She's like Sue Ellen from Dallas. So, we've got to wrap this up. Where are we at? So busy today and so many things to tell you about. But listen, okay, so they're not happy. They don't get on. They've got nothing in common. And it's not a marriage anymore, right? It's just a series of transactions. And I actually am sorry for Harry that he hasn't got someone in his life that will support him when he goes to New York, which is a really, really big deal. And by the way, absolutely hilarious. The reason why he went to New York is to lecture his audience about, wait for it, mental health, which is literally Harry advising on mental health. It's like taking the advice of a fox in how to raise chickens, isn't it? It's like taking advice on how to do a full body detox from Johnny Depp. It's like taking public relations advice from Kanye West. It ain't happening. Who's he kidding? So he makes a solo appearance in New York City, attending a closed-door event on men's mental health hosted by a group called Movember, which is it's a charity where you grow a moustache for November. And they do a great job. I like Movember, but I don't know why they've chosen the Duke as a mascot of happiness. Good luck with that. So no Meghan. She should be there. The gathering held at the Australian American Association marked the launch of the real face of mental health, the real face of Men's Health USA, A major New Movember report. Harry spoke alongside a guy called Zach Seidler, the charity's global director of men's health research. And that's great. Zach is no doubt a brilliant guy. Why is Harry there? And Harry said, when I speak to men, the same themes come up again and again and again. Oh, what are those themes, Harry? That your whole family can't stand you, that your country can't stand you, that you're an indulgent, spoiled hypocrite. He said, the struggles they face aren't unique, but loneliness convinces them that they're the only ones. That belief is often the biggest barrier to seeking help. Now, it's interesting because although I mock Harry, I think he's revealing something there. This is like a cry for help. He's talking about himself. Harry is lonely. Why is he lonely? Because it's a loveless marriage. It's transactional now, and Meghan wants out. They got nothing in common, and he's not getting any. That's the problem. So it's interesting how he says he's lonely. Only the lonely. Harry's lonely. And isn't that sad? To be married with kids and to be wealthy and have all that fame and still be lonely. They go on to say the Duke, who has long made mental health a personal focus through initiatives like the Invictus Games, also addressed the impact of social media, warning that online spaces have replaced meaningful real-world mentorship for many men. Yeah, well, why don't you have a bit of real-world contact with your own family, Harry, and not write a traitorous book about them or a horrible, horrible TV show in which you call them a bunch of racists? Harry added the conversations with veterans through the Invictus community. By the way, they can't stand him at Invictus. They want him out. Invictus want out. Everyone wants out. The Chad government have rejected Prince Harry because of his charity, the poaching charity, which is a hot mess. Meghan wants out. No one wants to be around him. Anyway, he added that conversations with veterans through the Invictus community had underscored the urgency of breaking silence around mental health. Sitting down with veterans, I've realised that silence is killing people. He said, we've made real progress on stigma, but access to therapy remains a huge issue. Now, I'm all for talking if you're struggling, and there'll be people watching this show who struggle with their mental health, and you should talk, and there's always help. Speak to a friend, speak to a family member, get professional help, call your doctor. It's always better out than in. But Harry, if anything, has gone the other way. Harry's had too much therapy, and he's totally absorbed, totally up himself. Get over yourself, Harry. So that's it. Harry, of course, has spoken about his own mental health issues in Spare and during a 2023 conversation with the trauma expert Gabor Mate, where he described openness about his struggles as an act of service intended to encourage others to be vulnerable with their family. So when Harry talks about himself and indulges himself, then actually he's doing service. That's what it is. He's not being, selfish and self-absorbed. No. This is a great public service from the greatest humanitarian since Martin Luther King, since Mother Teresa, since Gandhi. Harry is much better than any of those people. Folks, it's been so great to chat. I've got so much more to get through in our next show, which is scheduled to be Sunday. Sunday, da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. But you never know when there might be a surprise video. What I'd love you to do, please, is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because half of the people that watch the show aren't subscribed. I'd love to have you around the boardroom table with voting shares and an investment in this whole project. And also hit the notification alarm bell so you'll be alerted every time a new video drops. So many more royal and celebrity truth bombs to come. Loving your company. By the way, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're loving about the show. Let me know what you're not loving, because it's all about opinions, and I read all the comments, and it's incredibly instructive, because it's not my show. It is our show. It belongs to us. So I want to know what you think. Let me know what you love. Let me know what you don't love. I can take it. I've got a thick skin. See you soon. Should be Sunday, if not sooner. Big love, and bye for now. And I'll go it alone. Call this house my home. Build it up again with someone new. Build it brick by brick till I find the girl that fits. This home's a whole lot better without you. Oh, I go it alone. Call this house my home. Build it up again with someone new. Build it brick by brick till I find a girl that fits. This home's a whole lot better without you.